So you have explained to us now that a team would have gone on to the scene. They would have come back and registered a docket at the community service station. Then you say after that, there would be a process of assigning an investigating officer. My question is, was an investigating officer assigned at that point before the Gauteng organized crime team comes to request the docket?
No, thanks, Advocate. Now I'm content with your question. No, it was not yet assigned.
All right, and is that then the reason why you wouldn't have known an investigating officer for that case because one hadn't been assigned yet?
Exactly.
All right, thank you.
No, please continue, Ms. Bowen.
Yes, I will do so. Then I'm going to move to the next topic if there aren't any questions. This is now section F, where you're dealing with your sister's request and attempt to deliver close to the prison.
Okay, Advocate. On 6 December 2024, I learned from Fundiswa that Katiso had been arrested. I was shocked and asked what the charge was. She said she did not know. On 9 December 2024, Katiso appeared in Vereeniging Magistrate Court. I was at work and did not attend to that court session. Fundiswa attended the court proceedings. After court, I think between 1300 hours and 1400 hours, she came to my office and told me that the case had been postponed for a bail application and that Katiso had been sent to a government prison, which is Groenpend. She said she was unable to give him clothes and food, and she asked me to assist in doing that. I immediately contacted the area commissioner who was known to me at that point as Mr. Mkalipi. His name is Obert Mkalipi, to inquire whether Mr. Mlife had been admitted at that facility so that basic personal clothing could be delivered to him. Mr. Mkalipi initially indicated that Groenpend does not ordinarily house awaiting trial prisoners or detainees, and that there was no inmate recorded under that name in that facility. I informed him that I've just been informed that the court has adjourned and they sent Katiso there. So it could be that you haven't seen it yet because it's not a thing that happened long. Mr. Mkalipi undertook to verify my request and my information that I was giving him. And thereafter, he came back to me within a short while to confirm that Mr. Mlife is indeed in the facility registers. I then explained that Mr. Mlife is my brother-in-law and that his family wished to deliver clean clothing and food for him. Mr. Mkalipi advised that I could come to the facility subject to the applicable admission and security procedures. I was unable to attend immediately as I was on duty. After completing my official duties in my office, I proceeded to Groenpend Correctional Services, where upon arrival I identified myself to the prison warder at the gate, and I explained to him the purpose of my visit, namely to deliver clothing to Mr. Mlife and the food. I was informed that the area commissioner, Mr. Mkalipi, has just left the facility. I missed him with few minutes. I thereafter contacted Mr. Mkalipi telephonically, and he referred me to an official whom he named Mr. Nklapo for further assistance after speaking to the correctional service warder that was assisting me at took me to Mr. Nklapo at the maximum C section. And when we arrived at Mr. Nklapo's office, Mr. Nklapo was not available, and I waited for a short period before he attended to me. And during the waiting, the officials that were escorting me took me to another official, whom I did not get the name, but she was having the rank structures on her shoulder. And then that person took me, asked me what I was there for, and I explained to her. And then she took me to the office of Mr. Nklapo. And as she was taking me back to Mr. Nklapo's office, we met Mr. Nklapo on the passage. And Mr. Nklapo then asked me what I was there for. Then I explained to him. Then he told me that it is late after hours and that he could not accept my food delivery to Katiso, and he will not allow me to see Katiso, but he will take the clothing and hand it over to Katiso. I complied fully with the instructions and did not seek any deviation from the applicable rules. I thereafter handed over and I left the facility. I deny that I attempted to interfere in any manner. My conduct was limited to assisting my sister by facilitating the delivery of the clothing to her husband while he was in custody. This was a personal and humanitarian act. I did not discuss the merits of the case with any official, nor did I request or expect any preferential treatment or deviation from established procedures in favor of Mr. Mulife.
Can deal with the allegations related to the number plate.
Thank you, Advocate. The allegation of removing number plate, commissioners, it has been alleged that I removed the number plates of the car I was driving to conceal my identity when I went to Groenpunt prison. I deny these allegations because it did not happen. I could not conceal my identity after having spoken to the area commissioner and identified myself. When I arrived at the gate to the officials there, I also identified myself. I signed the access register using my full names and as they appear in my identity card. And my visit was recorded. It will be upset to remove registration plates after openly identifying myself to both the officials. The truth is that my car was new at the time and had not yet been issued with a formal registration plate. It was fitted with a temporary permit, which is in accordance with the Road Traffic Ordinance Act. And this permit was issued from the dealership where I bought this particular vehicle, which is Omas Motors situated in Meyerton, Vereeniging. I do not personally affix or remove number plates in my cars, but the dealership, they are responsible for that.
Brigadier, just before you move on, do you recall when this new car was purchased?
Yes, Advocate. I purchased this vehicle during October.
Thank you. You can then deal with the...
October of what? The previous year? Which October?
Commissioner Chair, I think it was in October 2024.
So this would have been just 2 months before his arrest. So, because this is now, we're dealing with December when this visit happens.
Correct, Advocate.
All right, 2024. Now you can move to general denial of misconduct and suspension grounds.
Thank you, Commissioners. I've been informed that the interim report of this commission dated the 17th of December, accepted by the President on the 29th January 2026, allegedly lists my name as a member whose conduct justifies immediate investigation. Specifically, I deny that I have aided or abated any criminal activity or failed to act on credible intelligence or internal warnings, or benefited financially or politically from any criminal syndicate. I did not. I've dedicated my career to the South African Police Service, and I've acted with integrity. I'm being prejudiced by allegations that are vague and not yet tested.
You can proceed to deal with your conclusion.
As I conclude on this matter, Advocate, I deny any wrongdoing whatsoever in this regard. I'm willing to cooperate with the Commission's legitimate inquiries to the extent that such cooperation does not infringe upon my rights to a fair process and my right against self-incrimination. I request that the Commission make a finding that there is no basis for the allegation made against me, and that the SAPS immediately withdraw my suspensions proceedings against me, because I'm not the criminal that the media suggests.
Thank you, Brigadier. Brigadier, we're going to move to your supplementary statement. Commissioners, during the tea adjournment, we agreed that there is quite a bit of repetition in the supplementary. So what we're going to try to do is I'm going to direct Brigadier to the relevant paragraphs that are new for him to deal with those. And to the extent that there may have been a paragraph that I skipped that he wishes to place on record, he can do so. And then just to place it on record that during the process of preparing for his testimony, we did agree that a supplementary affidavit be filed. So that's the first part of the supplementary statement. So, Brigadier, I propose that we start at Section B. And just to say that in sum, you've noted in the statement that you wish to deal with 4 points. That's the second visit to Mr. Molefe that happened in February 2025. You want to deal with the White House. You want to deal with a proper procedure for handling dockets within SAPS and the instruction received from the Provincial Commissioner, as well as the Ford Raptor that was driven by your sister, Ms. Nyangule. So 12.3 being handling of dockets will only deal with specific parts of it because you've covered most of it in your main statement. So if you can start with paragraph 14 at page 21 of your supplementary statement.
Thank you, Commissioners. Advocate, you said page 31?
No, page 21.
21.
Where you deal with your second visit to Groenpoint.
Thank you, Commissioners. I deal with each of these issues in detail below. My second visit to Groenpoint prison, which took place during February. My main statement recorded my first visit to Groenpoint Correctional Center on 9 December 2024. I failed to mention a second visit that took place in or about February 2025. I acknowledge that this was an omission. I wish to explain why it occurred, although I've explained it in my introductory paragraphs at the beginning. The pressure that I was subjected to. The summons and the evidence presented to the Commission focused exclusively on the visit
apologies,
during
Brigadier.
December.
Paragraph 15, unless you want to read it into the record, just explains why you hadn't mentioned the second visit. The commissioners have read that. Unless you want to place it on record, I would suggest that you start at paragraph 17, where you deal with the actual visit.
Oh, thank you very much, Advocate. I've got no problem. On paragraph 17, I took annual leave during December 2024, and I traveled for a holiday. I returned home in the second week of January 2025. After my return, I was on sick leave for a period due to physical pains and stress that I was enduring. In February 2025, while I was still on leave, my sister Fundiswa Nyangule, who I explained as the wife of Mr. Katiso Mlife in the main statement, contacted me. She informed me that she was coming to Gauteng to visit her husband in prison. She told me that her own vehicle had mechanical problems and it was not available. She asked if I could fetch her from the airport because she was coming from Devon, where she is residing. And I agreed, and I went to the airport and picked her up. We drove together to Groenpunt prison, and on arrival, we followed the normal procedures of identifying ourselves at the gate, and we produced our identity card, which is our ID cards, and then the prison officials, they gave us a register to sign, and we were permitted to get in and see Katiso.
Brigadier, just before you move too far from this, at paragraph 20, you mentioned that Ms. Nyangule was coming to Gauteng. Do you have a sense of when did she move to Durban? Because in your first statement, you talked about how she was first residing with you and your wife, and then she moved in with your wife's brother at the time. But there isn't an indication then when she moved.
I don't have that information as to when did she move to Devon with the husband.
Thank you. You can continue.
Okay, thank you very much.
You were at paragraph 23.
Thank you very much, Advocate. I was not given any preferential treatment. I waited my turn. I complied with the security checks. I wish to state clearly and unequivocally that I followed the procedures like any other person. I did not visit Katiso to interfere with any investigation. I did not use my rank to gain improper access. I was there primarily to drive my sister, who was the lawful visitor. Once I was told that I could see Katiso, I did so as a family member, not as a police officer. Should I continue?
Yes, you can.
The next paragraph will be talking to the White House, its nature and complete denial of a corrupt association. I have become aware through the media reports and through the evidence presented to this commission that a place called the White House, located in Northcliffe, which has been described as a hub for corrupt activities involving senior SAPS officials, politicians, and organized crime figures. I wish to inform the Commission that I've been to the White House on several occasions. I'm not denying that. The White House is a private property that was used from time to time for social gatherings by colleagues from the South SAPS. Beg your pardon, Commissioners.
Brigadier, just before you moved, just for the record, the White House, is that the Northcliffe Hotel?
Correct, Advocate.
Thank you.
The gatherings at the White House were ordinarily arranged by colleagues or our colleague, Major General Richard Shibiru, who appeared before this commission. Commissioners, to the best of my knowledge, the purpose of these social gatherings was very innocent and was very lawful, according to me. It was ordinarily to bring camaraderie, which is a friendship and a close relationship, to foster those working relationships and to distress after work with officers from different units and who are within the organization. Of course, we will from time to time be having some of the civilians in the likes of the owner of the boutique hotel after being introduced to us as the owner. That is to the best of my knowledge, and the gatherings were not secret at all.
Sorry, Brigadier. So are you saying that generally the only civilian would have been the owner in your knowledge?
Yeah, it will be advocated the owner and the partner to the owner who was preparing us drinks and food, and perhaps the other guys that are working in that particular institution, but we were not sitting with them where we were sitting.
So for the purpose of the socialization and socializing and the talking, it was mainly police officers?
Correct, Advocate.
And you say they were arranged by General Shibiri. Was it him who was doing the general inviting, or any one of you could invite any police officer you wanted?
Can I ask Advocate to repeat that question?
At paragraph 25.3, you indicated that the gatherings were ordinarily arranged by your colleague, General Shibiri. And then in the next paragraph, you talk about how it was used to build camaraderie and foster closer working relationships. So my question was related to invitees, how police officers would get invited. Was it General Shibiri who would be doing the inviting, or any and all the police officers there could invite anyone as they pleased? Well, any police officer.
Thanks, Advocate. I will not know who are doing the invites to the attendees, but all I know is that General Shibiri was the one who was inviting me and General Mtombeni, because in all times, when I have to go there, I will have to speak to General Shibiri to say we can come, because he was the one who was arranging, and he's the one who introduced us to the owner. So as for the others, I've never known how they got invited and by who.
Thanks, Brigadier. If you can then go to paragraph 29.
Thank you, Advocate. Paragraph 29 talks to the Ford Raptor vehicle registered in my name. The evidence before the Commission includes an allegation that a Ford Raptor vehicle registered in my name was driven by Katiso's girlfriend, Fundiso, outside the Vereeniging Magistrate Court on the 5th of March 2025. I confirm that this allegation is true. The Ford Raptor vehicle was indeed my private vehicle that was driven by Fundiswa on the day. And I purchased this particular vehicle lawfully for my eldest daughter, who was paying for it through me, since I'm the registered owner of this particular vehicle. I was not driving the vehicle on the 5th of March. I was not present at the court either in Vereeniging on that day. I borrowed this particular vehicle to Fundiswa, who is my sister. As I've explained in detail in my main statement, and that in this supplementary statement, I confirm that I treat Fundisa like my baby sister, so I will always assist her when she needs an assistance. I allowed Fundiswa to use this vehicle. She came to Gauteng to visit her husband in prison. She explained to me that she suspected people following her, and she was afraid to use her car because it's known. And I decided to give her the Ford Raptor vehicle because in any way, it has been sitting in the garage for quite some time without it being utilized.